Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Inside Titan Sports. My name is Erik Kohler. Thanks for joining us. This week, we'll tee it up with our men's golf coach, Jaime Howell, and then jump to the hard courts and talk tennis with our very own Jerry Thor. But first, let's get up close with our nationally ranked men's soccer team. Please welcome back the head coach, Oliver Twelvetrees, and he's joined by sophomore sensation and transfer, Brad Franklin. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having us on board.
And Brad, nice to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, congratulations to both of you. What a great road trip to get 2 wins, move to 4-2, and now you're entrenched at that number 13 spot in the recent rankings. So congratulations. Do a little recap on last week's 2 big wins at Jefferson College.
Yeah, certainly the road trip that we needed to continue to come together as a team. It was a good couple of games, tough competition. Jefferson College, previously national rank, and then Illinois Central, undefeated team. So it was nice having that experience of going on the road and beating 2 quality teams.
I'll tell you, Brad, now you're a transfer from Howard University.
Yes.
What drew you to come to Eastern Florida?
Well, when I first looked up Eastern, I looked up the soccer program, and I saw that they're one of the best schools in Florida. Like, not JUCO, not Division I, just one of the best schools in Florida. So that obviously attracted me. And then when I looked up Melbourne, I saw, nice calm, maybe a little bit of sunsets, So then I was from Broward, so I wanted to be close to home, but not too close where my parents could come every weekend. So I thought Melbourne was the right decision.
So, Brad, you're from Miramar, Florida, so that's great. So what do you think about Coach Twelvetrees? No consequence to this answer right here. What do you like about his coaching style?
I mean, it's different, but it works. Sometimes you have a coach that are too aggressive or too nice. I think Coach Trees has a good balance in between the two.
That's pretty good. Now, Coach, that's a good answer right there. But
That's
by
a
the way,
politically correct answer right there. Wait until training this afternoon and maybe you won't be saying the same things.
but 2 good wins, obviously, like you said, an undefeated Illinois Central College. What's a recap on both those games that you can draw for some of our viewers out there?
It was a very solid performance in the first game against Jefferson College, and we had 2 great goals from Yaya Cisse. And Yaya's, he's overcome a lot of adversity, broke his leg last year in a spring game against Orlando City, and so he hasn't really been firing on the kind of form that he showed last year. And so it was just a fantastic moment for him, especially when he scored the second goal. I think he even shed a tear after he scored a second goal and looked up to the gods, and it was an emotional moment for everybody, and everybody was so happy to see him get off the mark and score those 2 goals. And it was very much a deserved win from a game we dominated really from start to finish and create a lot of opportunities. Second game, less than 12 hours rest. It was tough. Don't get me wrong. It was 12 o'clock in the day. Very, very tough game against ICC, but the boys battled, and it was 1-1 going into the last minute. Coach Trees gets the assist, I think, because he brings Alexis off the bench, and with his first touch, he runs in and scores a winning goal. So it was a great moment for everybody and a quality end to the weekend.
Well, that was the second road trip of the season. Now, obviously, you had it segued in terms of scheduling. First part of the year was the exhibition. Second part, you had a couple road trips, the one to St. Louis, Missouri, and the one to Mississippi. Now, we start off Friday against a very good Broward College team, 2-0 in conference, 4-0 overall, 17th ranked in the country. Now, Brad, you know something about that Broward area. Scout those guys out for this Friday for our conference home opener.
Well, I'm from Broward, so I played with a few of the boys and against some of the boys, and they're definitely a good team, but they got a good person on the left side. They have Alberto, but I think he's a little, I played with him, so I know how he plays, but he knows how I play. So I think I'm gonna have to step it up. He's gonna have to step it up. But that's a good game for sure. But I can't let them win, of course, because I left Broward. So if they come beat me, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Brad, why'd you leave? You should have just stayed." And I can't allow that. So
Well, I think it's good, Coach. What do you think about Broward College? They're a much improved program.
Yeah, even last year they had a quality team with quality individuals, and we had that number last year. They've never beaten us, and we're going into Friday to make sure we continue that streak and make sure they have the fear factor. They know coming in here they're going against a quality team. We need to make sure we keep that atmosphere up and realize that when they come into Titan Stadium, they're going to be in for a match.
Well, I'll tell you, let's have some inside access. Obviously, it was a road trip up to Jefferson College, just outside the St. Louis, Missouri area. How'd you guys travel up there? Now, you said you went to Georgia State to give an opportunity for some of the kids like Brad to get in that recruiting window. Tell us about the trip up there through Georgia State and then on to Jefferson College.
Yeah, we split the trip up on the way up, and we stopped at Georgia State. We trained at their facility. The players got a little tour of the campus and got an opportunity to talk to the coach as well, so give them the opportunity to potentially get recruited at Georgia State, which is a nice school in downtown Atlanta. So that was good, and then we hit the rest of the way the following day, and on the way back, we did all 17 hours straight. So it was a long trip, but a good opportunity for the boys to have a little bit of fun on the bus as well. And Bradley here, he's our #1 singing sensation as well.
So I want to hear that. So you're the #1 singer. Does Coach rap, by the way?
No, he doesn't rap.
He doesn't rap?
We try to give it to him, but he's
I just thought it would sound cool with that accent that he has.
I think so too, like, Mr. Trees on the beat or something like that. He can get a good rap name there.
Mr. Trees, so now how do you guys travel up there, Brad? You guys go by bus, right? You charter a bus? Mm-hmm. Now, does Coach drive?
No, he doesn't drive.
I was going to see how his driving skills were. So, Coach, how do you guys get up there then? You charter a bus, you have a driver, a designated driver?
Yeah, we go through a company for the safety of the athletes. Anything more than 4 hours, we'll charter a bus to make sure it's safe for all the athletes.
So how do you keep the time going right there? So you do a little rap, you do a little song and dance. What do you guys do?
Someone will just say, like, let's have a rap battle real quick, or, let's do a little singing or something. And sometimes it'll catch on, sometimes it won't, but sometimes it catch on. When it does, I'm always number one.
I can see that. Now, going forward, guys, now you're coming into your conference schedule. It's going to be a conference all the way through the end of October. Now, you start off with Broward College, 8 o'clock. Match starts this Friday. Admission is free, so get out there and support you guys. Now, what are your goals and expectations? Because he rates you guys, and I think that's good, so you get that feedback as a player. But now to this point, since you got that second session done going forward with conference, how do you rate the team right now?
Yeah, we've certainly made big strides in the last weekend. It was a great preseason, and we overcome some adversity in the second phase, and now we're into the conference. This is the meat and potatoes of the season. This is where it really counts, and we've got 9 games in conference. We expect to go in and win all those games, but we're certainly going to be tested, and we're going to have to overcome adversity again in those games, no doubt about it. Some fantastic players, Kyle Laren's brother, the Orlando City, Elijah Laren plays for Broward, and he'll be the guy we got to stop on Friday night.
I'll tell you, that's a great opportunity. Now, how do you rate and expect the rest of the year from a student-athlete standpoint?
Well, going into the year, I knew that conference is what it was all about. Everything now was just pretty much preparation for a conference. If we lost all the games now, it'd be better to lose those than to lose these conference games, So, I'm expecting big things from the program, as always. 3-time conference champs, nationals, and all that. So, I'm expecting a lot of big things.
Now, on a personal note, you came through some adversity. Like you said, you started your playing career at Howard. Mm-hmm. You had an injury. Now, to this day, you actually have a screw that is still in your ankle. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one of the bones of my ankle is like the medial, so like the little bone in your ankle. It snapped in half.
Oh, wow.
So then they took 2 long screws and had to screw them in there. But when they were screwing them in there, one of them, the head came off. So I don't know if my bone was too big or they couldn't screw it in right. So then when it came time to take them out, they couldn't take it out because there's no head on the screw. So I have a screw in my foot still. So.
I'll tell you what, so don't ever keep him on the bus. If he goes through security at the airport, there might be a trouble with Mr. Franklin here.
Doesn't slow him down, though. He's one of the fastest players on the team, so he can play a number of positions, right back, right mid, center mid, and he's one of the quickest and has done a great job so far this year.
I think it's a great opportunity to have you here, Brad, too. We have wonderful facilities and stuff like that. But, good luck to you guys this weekend. Obviously, Friday night, 8 o'clock against Broward College. I believe they come in ranked 17th in the country. They're 2-0 in conference and 4-0 overall. But I tell you, you got to work on, Coach, to try to get a rap battle one of these days. And when you do, make sure you call me. And another thing is the head coach of our men's basketball program is getting close with the Drakes. So maybe Drake could coach up Coach Twelvetrees there.
That would be great, of course, but I don't know if Coach got it in, to be honest. I think Drake would kind of take him to school.
Oh, you think Drake would kind of overstep him?
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, guys, hey, listen, great start to the season. Good luck in conference. You guys are always welcome. And Brad, it's great to have you part of the program. But that's Coach Twelvetrees.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Brad Franklin, nice to see you. Remember, guys, they're in action tomorrow night at 8 o'clock against the undefeated Broward College as they start conference play. Keep it locked in. This is Inside Titan Sports.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Welcome back, fans, to Inside Titan Sports. Now it's time to change gears and jump to those hard courts. Time to talk some tennis. With that being said, welcome back the head coach of the men's and women's team. We got Thor. Hello, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having us back.
And we have a freshman sensation from Las Vegas, Nevada, Miss Brenda Aguilar. Hello, Brenda.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'll tell you what, congratulations, guys. A big event you guys had was the Panther Invitational. Coach, this was a big lead up for your men's and women's team. Tell us about this event because it looked like it took place across a few days and at quite a few venue sites.
Yeah, it's a great tournament hosted by Florida Tech right here in Melbourne. So we play at a couple of different sites throughout the community. Play at Aguilar Yacht Club. We play at Kiwi, which is a great facility as well. And we play at DeSoto tennis courts out in Satellite. So it was great to showcase our players, and they put on a show. So it was quite an event this weekend, and great leading up to some big things ahead, I hope.
Yeah, Brenda, I tell you what, that's got to be a great experience too, to play at a lot of different venues, because some people might say, hey, tennis court is a tennis court, but to play in different atmosphere and in different environments has got to help you as a player, yeah?
Yeah, it's very different playing on different courts and kind of like figuring out how each surface is. I don't know. Because some courts are different than others. So
that's a good point. Now, congratulations to you. Now, you won your Flight 5.
Yes.
You were down 4-6, came back 6-4, won the tiebreaker 10-8.
10-8, yes.
So I'll tell you what, you had a little nerves going into that, but you got it done. You closed the deal.
Yeah, it was tough on the tiebreaker. I was up 8-4 and lost a few points, but then I got it back serving. So
how do you hold that together mental-wise when you kind of question yourself? Like you said, you're down 8-4, but to turn that around, what was the turning point upstairs?
I kind of lost my focus on those points that I lost, but I had to end it. I mean, I had to finish it. It was really hot, really humid, so
you wanted to get out of there.
Yes, I just wanted to win it.
I tell you what, Coach, you got to be very excited. She closed the deal, and also congratulations to another one of your players, Louisa Verone, got Co-Student Athlete of the Week, and she played very well and won her Flight #1.
Yeah, well, that's I'm proud of the players. That's one of the big opportunities we have here at Eastern Florida State. Is a player can come in as a freshman and be on court competing for championships right away. And that type of pressure, as they say, pressure makes diamonds, and we've got quite a few gems on the team. So
I like that.
Louisa came through with a big win in the main draw. Again, she played a tiebreaker, got off to a quick start, which is what we really encourage. The other player battled back, which again we expect that to happen if you're playing someone in the finals. And but the kind of that toughness that we work on, we put them in pressure situations in practice, and they came through for us.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that's great, and congratulations. You come from a beautiful city. I'm a big fan of Las Vegas. What was the draw to come out of the desert in Las Vegas and the Strip to make it to Melbourne, Florida, and Eastern Florida?
Well, I kind of wanted like a new experience and something, or like a place that was going to push me and really motivate me, and I felt like this was it.
Now, how did you recruit Miss Aguilar here? How did that go down, Jerry?
Yeah, Brenda reached out, said she's familiar. We've got one of the nationally prominent tennis programs, and wanted to come on board and help take things to the next level. She's a 3-star recruit, which is up there. So we battled a couple Division I programs. They're interested in her as well, and luckily we got her down here in Florida, and now she's adjusting to the humidity and the moisture in the air instead of that dry desert heat. But she's doing great. She's a great student, and she's a great teammate, and we're very fortunate to have her and see her grow into a great player and a great woman.
Brenda, that's a great point, though. Talk about the humidity and the dry heat of the desert. Tell us about that, because some people joke with me when you go out to Vegas, like, it's 120 degrees, but it's a dry heat. I'm like, it's still 120. You come here, it's 93 degrees, but it's 98% humidity.
Yeah.
What was the difference, the transition? That's a big deal.
114 there, it was perfect. I'm able to do that, but 90 degrees here, I'm dying.
It's a different animal,
yes, isn't it? It's crazy. I couldn't do it. So it was really hard to get used to, but slowly getting there.
Well, that's good. But are you happy here? Have you adjusted to the Florida lifestyle?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And your parents are happy that you're in Florida, even though you're away from them from Nevada?
I don't know if they're happy, but I'm sure they're happy.
Well, that's a great opportunity. We're lucky to have you. But now, Coach, you got something that you're going to host this week, and that's kind of a big deal. Tell us about that event that's coming up for Eastern Florida tennis.
Yeah, so coming off the Panther invite where we faced 6 Division II schools, now we're going to take those experiences into some of the top junior college programs in the country. We're going to be arriving here shortly in Brevard County to play our ITA Florida Region Championship. And so that's a 7-team event just for our women on our brand new facility over there, the Titan Tennis Center. And it's going to be 3 days in the heat, under the sun. Temperatures on a hard court can reach 120. We're trying to get our players mentally ready for that battle. And it's going to be just 3 long days of tennis to see who becomes the singles champion and doubles champion. Will then advance to the national championships in Arizona.
Well, I tell you what, speaking of that, how do you condition for that when the courts get so hot in terms of what's the prep that you got to do? Obviously, you need to drink a lot of fluids, get to the shade when you have the breaks. But what is some of the key as a player to stay cool in those circumstances? Because if your body breaks down physically, that's when you can kind of slide in a match, yeah?
We're all working hard, and I mean, when it gets really hot, you just gotta like focus and stay calm, because once you get really like hot, it's crazy.
Now, is running a big part of your regime in terms of conditioning? I mean, what's the big training thing for your tennis teams, Jerry? What's your philosophy?
We do a lot of plyometrics. We do a lot of agility and speed training. We don't do a whole lot of long distance. We kind of reserve our practice times for that. So we push them in practice, try to, have high energy practices for 2 to 3 hours a day. So, that kind of gives us our endurance and, just practicing at a high level. And I think what's really good, 15 out of our 18 are freshmen, but they've come together so close that when you've got the support of 18 teammates and coaches behind you, and you're out there trying to close out a match, I mean, there's no way you're going to go take a water break or need to sit down for a few minutes. The adrenaline's going to be pumping, and we get to compete for championships, which is something that our program is just starting to do, and things that we'll expect to do, out into the future.
Well, that's pretty good. So basically, the teams push each other.
Yes.
Now, what about the men's and women's teams? Obviously, Coach, we're wearing both hats. The inaugural season of the men's team, second season for the women's team. How was that meshed in terms of the men's squad? Have they come together the same way the women's team has?
They've been doing great. We've had both guys in the main draw final battle each other out to a third set match as well. We've had a couple guys in third set breakers, and I'm trying to pull them off the fence because they're on the fence cheering for each other so much. They're so positive. Everybody really wants to see each other do really well. And, they're following the plan. As head coach, it's my responsibility to, lay out what the culture of our program is, as a new program. And they've all bought into it. They realize we want to compete at a high level. And they just really took it to a couple ranked Division II programs this weekend. So I think it's a sign of good things to come.
I think that's great, too. Now, you're very proud of the record. The composite record you had from this weekend, the Panther Invitational was?
Yes, 51-18
wow.
against Division II schools. And the competition is going to continue to get tougher. And our players, if they keep working this hard, they're going to continue to get better. So we're really excited for what we've done, but what we're yet to do. In
such a short period of time. Now, Brenda, what is your goal? You got a freshman, you got one more year. What's your goal after you are done here at Eastern Florida?
I want to go to TCU.
You want to go to TCU?
Yeah, play tennis for them, and then hopefully get my doctorate degree.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. That's good. Now, do you reach out? How do you reach out? If you know a school that you want to reach out to get to TCU, do you have to reach out, or they're coming to see you? Or, Jerry, you have a big part of that?
Yeah, we'll reach out and let them know that we've got players interested and that are working hard to prepare themselves for those types of opportunities. And coaches will continue to call me, and like this weekend when we go out and play, we had a number of coaches come by and ask, are they a freshman, or sophomore? Should I start saving scholarships now? Because, they're really interested in our players. And when you go out there and you perform and you kind of can do it the right way, or good sports and good sportsmanship on the court. And, there's no question they want to add players from Eastern Florida to their rosters.
Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations, Brenda. Nice to meet you. Coach, keep doing your thing, and go Titans.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break. You're watching Inside Titan Sports. Stay right there.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Hey fans, welcome back to our final segment of Inside Titan Sports. It's now time to hit the links. With that being said, welcome back longtime coach of your Titans golf team, Jaime Howell. Hey coach, how are you?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Good, good. Hey listen, congratulations, Wallace State Fall Invitational, your first event of the fall. You finished fourth as a team, but you had a great story, a sophomore out of Hockley, England. Brad Bodden got the individual medalist play. Talk about Brad's performance up there in Alabama.
More of a culmination probably of his experiences from last year. He knocked on the door a number of times last year, just didn't find his way through. This time, holed a nice putt in the last hole, about an 8-footer for birdie. Got in the playoffs, and then on the first playoff hole, he was first to putt from about 18 feet and hold it. And a young man from Wallace State had about a 16-footer and just slid by. So he'd been knocking for a while. It's nice to see him break through.
I think that's great for a coach. That got to make you feel good too as a kid that breaks through that persistence with golf, because it's such a mental game. Now talk about a little bit of some of the performance of the other players that got you fourth as a team up there at the Wall State Fall Invitational.
Had a young man, freshman, come in, had a good tournament. Kyle DeCenzo went to Vieira High School, did really well up there. Ryan Rozick, also from Vieira, contributed. Michael Stewart, returning sophomore, just getting on board. And then Fraser Davern from Scotland. Fraser did very well. As the week went along, he kept getting more and more acclimated to it. And if you want to see something funny, you want to turn a Scotsman loose in Upper Alabama and watch the accents go wild.
That's fantastic. That's cultures divided right there and colliding at the same time. Well, listen, Coach, you do have a lot of new faces on the roster. Talk about some of the kids that have come in and their contribution so far early in the fall season.
You know, not asking much of them in regard to a contribution other than show up. You know, show up on time for everything we do, including going to class during the day. Put your best effort forth in the tournaments. Put your best effort forth in practice, because it's a learning curve for them. One of the freshmen came to me right away and said, you know, I've never had a coach meet me on a tee to discuss strategy. You know, in all his time playing junior golf or playing high school golf, that was new to him. And for me, one of the items is they teach me as much as I teach them, and I have to learn their tendencies. I have to learn what their patterns are, how they're going to respond if they're a little nervous, how they're going to act if they're a little amped up. So my job is just recognize what's taking place and go from there.
I'll tell you what, that's a big hat to have right there, Coach, to be able to gauge up, gauge down, because you have so many different types of personalities in terms of golfers. You know, I know you have a lot of years of experience, but what's your magic to be able to get on their level?
You just pay attention. You pay attention nonstop. You look all around you, because the bulk of the players play very similarly. It's not just your team. If you watch the other players play, you're going to get some information from what's going on there. So all you do is watch and watch closely, and then you relate. And if you have somebody who's a right to left player, we're going to work off of that type of shot. If you have somebody who's a high ball hitter or a low ball, you work off what it is they do and don't ask them to do anything they're not comfortable doing.
I think that's great, Coach. And I tell you what, you've had 40 tournament wins. You've coached up 20 All-Americans, so you can see obviously that experience comes into play. Now, the one player asked you and made that statement that he had never had anybody come up to him. How does he feel about that now, as his coach now is meeting him at the first tee?
I said to him, don't ever be bashful. You know, make sure you tell me what's on your mind. Sometimes I can read what's going on, I can tell. Other times they might be churning inside and they might be distracted, and all I'm looking to do is just bring them into the here and now. I have a little routine what I will do with them. If they get a little too amped up, if they get a little nervous, I'm going to ask them, where are you? And they're to tell me where they are. Right now I'm on the 5th tee at Coleman Municipal Golf Course. This is a par 4 up the hill. I'm going to make sure I aim it at that hill over there. I'm like, beautiful. Because now we're in that moment and they're focusing on that and they're not allowing the distractions of maybe being nervous to get in the way of the performance.
I think that's great. Now, with that being said, you have a big event coming up in Brewton, Alabama. I believe it's the NJCAA. Tell us about that event and why that's significant moving forward.
It's our district preview. Our equivalent of a conference is a district, and our district championship in April will be in Brewton, Alabama, hosted by Faulkner State. We get the opportunity to go up there and compete in a tournament in the fall, give the guys a good look at the course. We'll know what we have to practice when we go back home over the course of the season, and when we return, just be that much better prepared for it.
So with that being said, how do you prepare the teams? You have a different philosophy, which I think is kind of neat. We talked about off air. When you have a certain event that maybe is a hilly course or what have you, you like to try to practice and emulate those same conditions here locally. Tell us about that philosophy of prepping your players.
If we're going to go to a golf course that's relatively short, when we qualify, I'll try to keep the yardage down to match that. If we're going to a golf course that's overly narrow or one that's overly wide, we're going to visit the facilities here in Brevard County that at the very least assimilate that type of playing condition. The one thing we don't have a great deal of is elevation change. When we went to northern Alabama, some of the guys here from Florida hadn't played, that much in the hills. And there's only a couple things we can do. Our academy's set up where we have some uphill and downhill and side hill lies, but until you actually have to do it in play, it's a little different. So I'll do everything I can to, at the very least, give them a look. If I know the greens are going to be overly fast, I'm going to go to the golf course that has the fastest greens right now. If we have some place that has a minimal amount of sand and the bunkers or a lot, we'll find that as well. Everything we do will at the very least try to recognize, here's what's coming, let's be prepared.
So a lot of these community courses and facilities, have they been receptive to Eastern Florida golf?
They've welcomed us for years. Long before I came along, golf in Brevard County is a way of life. A lot of people come to Florida because of golf on the Space Coast. I believe it's a positive marketing tool almost for the clubs to say Eastern Florida State College comes out here to practice, now both men's and ladies. it lets them know this is a quality golf facility. These young people use it to help get ready for their tournaments. It can only be beneficial for them too, because it's nothing but beneficial for us to get to go there.
Now your fall schedule, now you're prepping for the spring, but what are you looking to draw out of that for this fall for the golf team to have success in the spring?
See a little bit of, who can handle the situations, who's struggling with it, what we need to do to get better. Brad breaking through last week was just terrific for him. Fraser Davern, as the week went along, got a little bit better. One of my sophomores, he struggled a little bit, Michael Stewart, and it wasn't for lack of effort, but it goes back to, okay, what can we do different in our preparation so that we don't get up there and struggle? And golf's fickle enough as it is. There's going to be struggles.
Right.
The difference for us, instead of playing against 10, 11, 12 other teams, we have to remember we're actually playing the golf course. There isn't a thing we can do to force the other team's hand unless they just get stuck watching somebody. So our task is pay attention to the course. What does it give you? What does it allow you to do? And how do you take advantage of it, as opposed to you just try to impose your own will on it?
Well, I think that the team can feed off Brad's individual effort to get that medalist honor this past week too, right?
That's, they all congratulated him. It's a team effort all around, and you like to see yours do well. And I promise you, the other 10 guys watching want to step up to the plate and receive the same accolade. So
being a student athlete and a golfer too, what's usually the caseload in terms of hours the kids take during the fall and the spring? Are they taking 12 to 15 hours? What's the normal that you've seen some of your kids?
We look for all of them to take 15. I would love for them to be here for 2 years, graduate and move on. The young lady before you with the tennis team, she's got plans on where she wants to go. We look for all of our players to graduate and move on. I would love for them to do it in 2 years. Some might take 3. Everybody's a little bit different in that regard, because again, we're preparing them for the next level. We want them to get to an NCAA Division I, II school, wherever they might wind up. And when they get there, the transfer's seamless. The coach will call you back and say, hey, thanks for that kid. This guy's doing a good job here in class. Shows up to practice on time. He contributes to the success of the team. That's what we do right there.
What's an update with Kerry Sweeney, one of your former players?
Kerry played, his first event was last week up in Kiowa, South Carolina. I believe he finished 33rd. He shot 73, 68, 77. I didn't get a chance to talk with him. I watched the scores on GolfStat. I double-checked before we came on here this morning just to see how he did. And he did just fine. First event out of the gate, huge tournament. I believe Mississippi finished second. So he comes to the table with them, and right away they're a better program.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, you got to be a proud papa following these players after their career at Eastern Florida. But we appreciate all you do, 15 years and counting, and keep on charging on those Titans.
I'll be here as long as they'll have me.
That's all the time we have for this edition of Inside Titan Sports. Many thanks goes out to our players and coaches, making it a great show as always. Anything and everything for Titan Athletics, visit us online at EFSCTitans.com. For Coach Howell, I'm Erik Kohler, and our producer Rob Linder saying so long. Remember, Eastern Florida, where Titans rise.